Hi, I'm IKEA, and for today's video we're going to have the first installment of Things and Stuffs, where we'll go over some things that I think will be interesting and some stuffs that might be worthwhile to know. So yeah, let's jump right in. And for this stuffs, we're reminded by Toasty that instant use skills is a thing, and many people don't set this or know about it. You have the options in your key mappings to set instant use, and that is basically the same as double tapping the skill. It's a lot more consistent than double tapping because there's, of course, a delay with double tapping. And you can use that, especially, for instance, with the stickies, using a crosshair of a weapon. When you instant use the sticky, it will go to the center of that crosshair, really easily letting you hit targets. And that is a really handy stuffs to know. And for the next stuffs, brought to us by Toasty as well, when you engage a Warhound with an EMP sticky, it does not aggro his allies. And you can just EMP sticky a Warhound or mini tank to the ground. And this is actually useful in gameplay sometimes as well. Another handy stuffs with especially EMP stickies is if you EMP sticky a dog, for instance here, as we have done to this Warhound, if the duration is longer than the disrupt, while it is attached to him and you do not detonate, it will continuously actually keep him down. And that is actually a very handy trick to get some of the Warhounds out of play. Another interesting thing is encounter with Yanick the Beard. This is in a sewer, and we have a little bit of an area here that is marked out. Kind of looks like jumping jacks, and that's kind of what they want you to do in that circle. This is in Constitution Hall. This is in the sewer on the west side of it. It is a common sewer that people go through, especially for getting some keys. And in there, halfway through, in the big room here underneath, close to where one of the key cabinets is this circle. If you stand in the circle and you do the jumping jacks, suddenly an enemy will spawn in, as we see there. I'm doing this encounter on normal, and there we have our friendly rogue, Yanick the Beard, who is, of course, well known as one of the lead producers on Division. And I'm fighting him here on normal because I do not want to suffer. But he's actually quite the fight on heroic, especially even in 4-man still. And he will quite often kick your ass. But on normal, he's a pretty easy fight. But yeah, so very handy encounter to know about. Another interesting thing is, as submitted by ZB here to remind us, is that, yeah, there's Exif data to screenshots, and those are screenshots made actually with the in-game tools. So if you're pressing space and getting that screenshot there, as if you do it through Ubisoft Connect, for instance, on PC, this will not work. But if you do it through the screenshots and go to your screenshot folder and look at that picture, if you actually, for instance, upload it to a service, it will actually pull up that map location. But also you can, for instance, here, grab it from Notepad, as it has the latitude and the longitude there. If you, for instance, input that into Google, as I have done here, and we have it set there, we can see that, yeah, it is showing us in a very specific position. And if we actually go back into the game, we will see that when I go to the map, I am, of course, in the north area of the White House in the lawn. And that's, of course, where it's showing us as well. And go back to the browser. Yeah. So that matches up for all locations in DC, and even for the area that is used as the introduction, and but doesn't work for New York, as they didn't implement it there. So yeah, that is a very interesting thingy. Another interesting thing is that you can actually interact with Ransom as he's wandering around. And you will do a set of animations and some barks there. And every time he'll wander around a little bit more, you can likely usually interact with him once per location. He has a set route, and yeah, I've definitely followed him for quite a while, trying to see if it maybe leads to a secret or something if you interact with him for, 1,000 times or something. Although I likely did not reach that number. We'll let him come to us once more, and it's whenever he stops, you can interact with him, and he'll do a jolly little trick, and he's a good boy, and sometimes he'll even do it twice. And one other thing as well, at nights, during the day he roams around. At nights he still goes back to his pen, so you can go there and pet him at night. And a minor interesting thing is these yellow boxes that exist here. There are 3 of them. They are here in this components area, just south of Stranded Tanker. And they actually are containing components, and they open up and give you some components, working just as component boxes, giving the same amounts as well. There is actually a little bit of an animation to it. Your character will kind of walk towards them, which is already kind of weird. The third one, as the 2 up there, the third one is down here. But these boxes don't really get used anywhere else, which is very odd. There is 3 of these in the yellow ones here. There is also actually a blue one, and that's in the prologue part of Warlords of New York, right before you get back upstairs after going through the City Hall intro area. And yeah, it's quite odd that just 3 of these exist. I don't believe I've seen anywhere else that has any of them. Which is also a call to action. If anybody does know any other place that does have them, I would love to know. And this thing comes courtesy of Dead Rainbow, Dod Rengobe, as I try my best to pronounce it. As yeah, they linked us a magical wall by DUA, and that's exactly where we are. We're just north of DUA. We've walked into it and walked a little bit north. And yeah, this wall I actually did not know, so actually Dad showed me a fresh one. And this wall is actually pretty magical, as yeah, when we go in and actually look through it, we see first this office kind of building area thing. But we walk through that, yeah, we are very much out of bounds, and the game has not registered as such. And out of bounds like these, yeah, it's not very useful, so it's very much a thing. But it's sometimes fun to know and to show your friends whenever you're running past it that, yeah, you can just go, some walls do not be real. And also there is this thing near DUA, as Scooby pointed out. And yeah, there is a weird little, you know, hole here, kind of. It seems a little bit odd. It is an area, it isn't out of bounds or anything, because yeah, they definitely put a rope here so you can get back out. But it just always feels a little bit odd that this thing is here and that you can just jump down, and yeah, there's no way out on this end. You just have to rope back up. Also by Scooby, we have at the DZ West Gate, as we are here, all the way in the west, northwest, of course, of the map. There is this area up here, which isn't the thing, but it is related to it. This place is a little bit weird already, but this used to be part of the unlock mission for DZ West, because you can come up here. There is really no way out, except right back down again. But there is this little ledge over here, and it has oddity. You would think it wouldn't let you jump down, because why would it? Except it totally does. Once you jump down here, though, you are very much stuck, and all you really can do is just sit here and look at the pretty flowers. And of course, fast travel out, as all agents have that opportunity, although you will have to wait 10 seconds because you will have taken damage. But yeah, it's a little bit weird because yeah, you can't get out. There is nowhere really place to go, and of course as well, this little asset of garbage was never meant to be seen from this side, so they just plopped it down, but we can see underneath it. And for the mission of this episode, where I show all of the loot locations, we're gonna do Air&Space and also show its secret with the balloons. And in the very starting room, as we've cleared it out here, there is one hanging crate there, which contains, of course, skilled loot, so well worth getting. And very easy to miss, it seems, by a lot of people. And of course, once entering the garage area here, as we've gone into the second room, there is a chest over here. And more importantly than that, there is actually these balloons. And as Bro Z there up there is reminding us, there is, of course, a secret room in Air&Space. And it's linked to 3 balloons. This is the first of the 3. We're gonna pop it right here, and we'll catch the next ones as we go through this. Next up, as we enter the first of the halls of the Air&Space Museum, There is actually some special ammo, bleed rounds behind there. There is some resources over here. We won't hit those during these series. We'll mostly go for the crates. But one thing I do want to point out as a thing is, yeah, there's a hanging A10 here, and they've stripped out its Gao 10 as its minigun. And that is, of course, the minigun that the True Sons have taken from here and are using at the capital to accost us with. And yeah, that is a little bit of an interesting tidbit, as they have very roughly just torn that weapon out of here. But yeah, let's move on. And as we reach the planetarium, before we walk through the gates and have to deal with the snipers on top, there is actually, yeah, this balloon here. This is the second balloon. We'll pop it here. But then also we'll go up here, as there is a chest here that a lot of people seem to miss. It is barely hidden, but it is just out of sight, as you might feel you might want to run that away. But there's actually a weapon crate here, which is quite handy to know, as all this loot will add up over time. And as we enter the second balcony, I've cleared it out here already just to show it, of course. But there is one chest here that a lot of people go past as they're in a hurry to get to the fighting, which you should be, but sometimes loot is important. Another, while I can't actually show it here, is if you come up to here and interact, if you get the opportunity to interact, that means you don't have the backpack trophy that belongs here, which is of the space shuttle, and you should definitely get that next time you're here. And for those wondering what that space shuttle backpack trophy looks like, as I totally should show it, of course, it looks like this, and you'll have a space shuttle hanging off of your butt. And that, of course, means that you'll have a butt that is totally out of this world. And on the balcony of the third hall, after the Mars exhibit, there is a chest right here, and this is one most people do know about. One thing you can do here as well is actually, if you are an Eclipse or something, you can already put down fire chems for the last wave downstairs. What I want to show here as well is there is a spot where you can jump down all the way down, which is quite fast. Because yeah, you can jump down here and quite quickly get to the scanning the missile parts. But yeah, what I especially want to show is this is our third and final balloon. We will pop it here. And actually, the game will even courteously tell us, enter the secret room. And if it asks so nicely, who am I to, you know, not do it? And in here, there's 2 backpacks and, of course, 1 chest. It isn't a lot of loot, especially in the DC missions. There isn't a lot of loot in the missions. They ramped that up quite a bit in later missions. We'll go across from it as well, past this missile part. And this is the final chest in this mission. And this one gets missed so much that I'm very surprised by it, because it's in the line of sight as you're running over here. But yeah, a lot of people run just past it. And yeah, we'll go into the boss room where we'll have 1 final key chest. And before we head into the final loot and the final room, I wanted to actually just point out, there is actually a trick as well that you can use here, but only in groups, because you need multiple people for it. And that is that if one person waits back here, the rest can go and get set up in the boss room and, you know, get their turrets and their weapons and run up and, you know, be at the ready. And then once the final person enters the room, the boss encounter will start. And that can be quite handy for letting your Eclipses, for instance, run in, get their hives in, get their chems in place. And then also we lead into the final chest in this mission, which is this key chest that will pop here. And thus ends Air&Space. And we have reached the end of this very first things and stuffs. And I hope you enjoyed some of the things or some of the stuffs. And if you want to contribute yourself to this, as you saw, there were some names popping up here and there that contributed. You can head over to my community Discord, which is linked down below. And there is a Things and Stuffs channel in there. And that's where we keep adding to the list of things and stuffs that we want to see in these kinds of videos. And yeah, this is very much the start of a series, as the number 1 in it very much implies, of course. And I definitely want to keep going at this, as I'm hoping as well that maybe once in a while here and there, as we had today as well with one of the out of bounds, something that I totally didn't know myself either. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a good night.